Now, record here. We're live on both. Seems like we're picking up pretty good on the mic here. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Just Saying podcast. I know we're going way behind. We've had some typical technical difficulties, but it seems to be working fine now. You can join this podcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live right now. Facebook Live is James Edwards. Just look up my regular name. We had to change it because I have more followers on my regular page. So just look up my full name, James Edwards. You'll see a picture of me looking in the air with my hand on my chin. That'll be me. And YouTube is just Jay. So look over on YouTube, join us, ask your questions, let us know. If you don't know what's going on, we just want to really, real quick, let you know what we're doing is a series called The Road to Destruction. I feel like a lot of our people doesn't get to use their voice and need to use their voice, give their opinions, and we need to stand up and unite as one. United we stand, divided we fall. And I believe that if we, as a people, as a human, as humanity, will pull together, there's a lot more we can do. And I don't think we know everything that's going on. I think we're being told different, and I think things are being hid from us. And yet we're still believing what we're told, and I don't think that what we're being told is correct. But there is some people that I have had opportunities talking with that know a little bit more about the subject than I do, and do a lot more research than I do. And we're going to talk to one here in just a minute. But right now, I want you all just to join us over on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and ask your questions if you want to. And if you can join us right now, watch the replay. So here with me today is a man that I find intriguing. And the reason I say I find intriguing is because I have had some conversations with him. We work together, and I've had some conversations with him, and we'll be standing sometimes with nothing to do, and we'll be talking. And his opinions fascinate me, and I agree with him on a lot of things. Do I agree with him on everything? No, I ain't gonna lie, but I do agree with him on most things. And but I find it intriguing on some of the subjects. Now, this is a podcast that series, and it's going to be a 3 or 4 part series, and it's going to be several episodes, but it's going to be a 3 or 4 part live series with this man that we're talking about. But we're going to touch base on some of the we're going to give you a little taste of what we think is going on, what he feels, his opinion, and how he feels about situations, and what he believes is coming true and what's coming to pass, and what really happened in the COVID-19. What really is the COVID-19? Is it real? Is it not? Was it a government-made thing? You know, we're going to get into those depths, and you can ask your questions. You can give us your thoughts. You can cuss us out. You can feel free to do whatever you want to do. So with me today is a man named Jerry Kimball. And he is, like I said, he's a man that I work with. I enjoy his company. I find his opinions intriguing, and I like what he thinks and how he feels. So I wanted to start a podcast series, where people can say what they believe, how they feel, what they're doing, what they think is going on really and truly behind the scenes. And this man, Jerry, with us today, aka G is what we call him. So if I refer to him as G, that's who I'm talking about. But this man with us today has his blunt opinions on what is going on and what he feels. And like I said, he's done a lot of research. If you're just join us. And I think you will find it interesting in what he believes and what he feels. Now, we're going to get in a conversation a little bit about it. Now, this is our first series, so we're going to be a little rough. Don't expect professionalism. But as we go along, I promise we'll get better. So, Jerry, you like to say hey?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Okay, we're going to dive right into it. And over here on Facebook, I see some of you has joined us. Go ahead and send me your questions. Let me know what's going on, what you think, how you feel. And, maybe you've experienced something with the COVID. Maybe you've experienced some damaging results from the COVID, and you'd like to give your thoughts about it or ask your questions about it. Or maybe you think that there's something sneaky going on with our government. Maybe you want to let people know how you feel. That's the whole point of this podcast, is so people can use their voice. If I can get your voice out there, if I can get you, if I can have the world just see what some of us rednecks or us hillbillies or us trash people or however you want to look at us, if you just, if people just would listen sometimes instead of just talking so much, we might find out the truth of what's really going on right now.
You need to stop thinking, use common sense.
Exactly. Common sense is the thing that most people lack. And that's why we, most people, that's why we don't put together really, and we don't have the unity that we should. It's because people don't know what's going on. Right? People don't know how it is. So my first question to you is, I had a little book here, but anyway, I think I memorized it. My first question is, how do you feel? Well, first of all, let's do a little bit of background on you. All right, where are you from?
I'm from here in Baltimore County.
Was you born and raised here?
Born and raised here.
Been here your whole life?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so there's a little bit of background. Everybody knows he's from Rutherford County, and so he's just I guess you could say Rutherford County is backwaters. There's not a lot here.
Right, it's backwoods, small town.
But it's
a good town.
It's a great town. It's a great town, but but it's full of a bunch of rednecks.
It is full of a bunch of rednecks.
A whole lot of them.
A whole lot.
So, anyways, there you go. A little background here. First question. In your opinion, now everybody, this is an opinionated show, okay? And we will have some facts that we'll show you later on in different episodes. But this is an opinionated show, so if you get offended by opinions, you might want to go ahead and leave, because like I said at the beginning, his opinions are blunt. My opinions are blunt, and we speak our mind on this podcast. That's why it's called Just Saying. All right. So to you, your belief, however you feel about this situation, I want to know truly, to you, what is COVID-19?
I mean, well, COVID-19, it is a disease, man. But if you look at the statistics on it, and this, it's no more than a common flu. I mean,
all right, you say common flu. Is there? Let me ask you this, okay? If you say it's no different than a common flu, then when the hospitals are saying people have COVID, do you think it's a cover-up to say that that it is a disease, or is it really COVID that these people are supposedly
well, you
dying
gotta look at some of the tests they gave out, they're faulty.
Okay, I've heard that.
I mean, that's a basic fact.
I've heard it.
Some they do have it. I ain't gonna say it is bad, but it's just not as bad as they say it is. Wearing a mask ain't gonna help you a bit.
Okay, let's elaborate on the mask thing, because there's a whole controversy about the mask. I was listening to an episode earlier today. Somebody talking about, he blankly said, "You're stupid for wearing a mask."
Yeah.
That's blankly what he said. Wow.
Because it don't, you have nothing there to filter out the particles. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. You have a mask on, yes. But the dust, particles, it goes right through the mask, man.
Exactly. It holds that.
I mean,
you're breathing it in constantly.
Exactly. Not only that, if you wear a mask, think about this, and this is common sense, and this goes back to what doctors said. If you're wearing a mask and you're breathing, you breathe out, and this is just common sense.
Okay.
People have dumbed down, man.
Right.
If you're breathing out carbon monoxide.
Exactly.
All right, so if you got this mask on and you're wearing it, if you're outside in public, in a restaurant, or just all the time, you're constantly slowly killing yourself because you're constantly breathing in your own carbon monoxide.
I agree with that. And because everybody knows, if you know anything about life or about the human body, we do breathe out carbon dioxide.
Right.
We inhale oxygen and it comes back out as CO2. So,
and just like them, you know, them home people to stay in their homes and stuff like that, you got to be out. You got to build up your immune system, the antibodies to it. Any doctor knows that.
right. And it's just like with the flu. If we were to went into a huge quarantine with the flu, and they might have, I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with the whole flu thing. I was reading an article about in 1800s when the flu first came around.
Right.
But I don't think they went into a major quarantine. I can't remember reading that, but it might have been true.
No, they've never really been in a major quarantine. That goes against your constitutional rights.
Exactly. And we're not, and you said build up immune system. We can't build up immune to something that we're trying to stay away from.
Exactly.
And so if we do come in contact with it, we're more likely to get it or,
right.
Be worse, die from it. Because
right. I mean, you could, it's possible. If you already have serious problems, like breathing problems and stuff like that, yeah, you could.
Right.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But are you willing to give up your freedoms to stay locked in your home instead of going out here and trying to build up antibodies to it?
So I'm glad you went there, because my next question to you is, do you think this was a government way to control the population or to put us in kind of a box?
Yeah, I do believe so. And I'll tell you why. All right. Almost all diseases, this one, COVID-19, which was made in UNC Chapel Hill, by the way, and you can look at it on the United States patent.
I've heard that too.
Just like AIDS, just like SARS. Using common sense, man, think about it. Why, if you have pandemics, if you have all these diseases, why do they have a patent on it? Why? Because they're man-made.
Exactly.
This COVID-19, all right, it was funded here. The DOJ says you can't do that no more. They made it illegal.
Right.
So they took it to Wuhan, China, and funded it there. They funded it there, using taxpayer money, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I think it was a bioweapon. I think it was China let it loose to pretty much crash our economy and pretty much try to get our president out of office. And do I think the Democrats are behind it? Yes, I do, somewhat, because...
And that's your opinion?
That's my opinion.
All right.
And the reason I say that, because you see, if you watch, like you on YouTube or anything, watch some of their videos that they themselves have put out. There's going to be a pandemic in this administration. How do they know that? How do they know? I'm just saying. How do they know that there's going to be a pandemic?
Maybe some of them might answer this.
They don't know about that.
Right.
I mean, it's all about money, man.
And so, why do you think that now they're doing these stimulus packages? What do you think that's about? I mean, if the COVID-19 was a way to put us in a box per se, why do you think the government sent us money?
They want to control us. They want us to be sheep.
And money's the way to control
it. Exactly.
Money's
the perfect way. If you're going to pay, this amount of money to people, like in their stimulus checks or their unemployment, giving that big $600 boost, people's not going to want to work. They're going to want to sit at home and do nothing and pretty much let the government control you.
And that's a good point, because we know firsthand from where we work that you can't get anybody to come to work, that we've had people come and put in applications and not even show up.
Exactly.
Because the process requires them to draw unemployment to fill out applications.
Right.
So they do that, but why they're not coming to work? Because like you said, they're getting the state requirement for the unemployment also
Plus the
$600 boost. So some people are drawing $900 to $1,000 a week.
Exactly, and you're getting stimulus on top of that.
Right, and we're not. And let's just put this out here. Now, if you're drawing that and you're drawing it and it's helping you and et cetera, then that's fine. But if you're using, to my opinion, and this may make somebody mad, G, but
that's fine.
My opinion is if you're taking that money and you're using it for an excuse not to go to work, because let me tell you this, I work every day. So do you.
Yep.
And let me tell you this. Do I want to come in here every single day? Absolutely not. Do I feel like it all the time? Absolutely not. But I got to do what I got to do.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what I got to do.
So if people are out there taking this money and using it as an excuse, oh, well, I'm not going to work. I have no sympathy for people who don't work.
To me,
unless now let me put it this way, unless there's a reason they can't work,
right, exactly,
or whatever. That's different. But people who are able to work and use the government to not work, I've always been against that.
I'm against
It's like okay, living on welfare, and you don't have to.
Exactly.
But people choose to do that because it's easier for them.
Right. Exactly.
But I got news for you. Life's not easy.
Life's not easy.
It is hard. It's difficult, and it requires some of us who was not born with silver spoons in our mouth to work if we want something out of life.
That's right.
To build something, to have, to chase your dreams or whatever it is you want to do, you have to have money to do that.
That's
and
right.
you can't do that without performing some kind of duty to somebody eventually.
That's right.
Some kind of work. You got to.
You gotta work. I mean, that's just life, man. I mean, I look at it like this. I work,
But you work a lot more hours than I do.
Oh yeah, way more.
Yeah.
I mean, I do work a lot, and it takes time away from my family, which
I
don't like that. But I do it, and I try to make as much money as I can. So
you're building a safety net.
Yeah, I'm building a safety net.
Yeah.
And I have to take care of my family.
And that's what I personally say. That is what you call a man. That is what you call somebody who is willing to do what it takes to provide for their family,
right,
and not use the government as a safety net.
I mean, I worked my whole life, man, to have what I have, and to see this COVID-19, which is.
It about took some things from you. I mean, it cut our hours back. It cut your pay back. I mean,
it cut my pay in half.
So let me put it this way: we had to take a pay cut here at our job, guys. Everybody did across the board because of this COVID thing.
Right.
So I was only out of work for 2 weeks. I had to be out of work for 2 weeks because we were transitioning for the COVID, but then I got to come back. One thing I am saying that we're blessed about is that we didn't have to close the doors.
Yes,
I'm very
blessed. If we would have had to close the doors, and I hate to say this, but I'd have been up shit creek.
Yeah.
I lost everything I had.
Yeah.
And for our employer to stay open as much as he did, as much as he has, and let us work.
And let's put this out here. He has confided in me, and I'm sure in you, that he's lost bukus of money to keep the doors open, so that we can be paid,
yes, sir,
and be taken care of.
Yes, sir.
So I have to say, congrats to our employer. He may be sometimes difficult, but he is an awesome guy, totally in through and out. And I think he does genuinely care about his employees.
Yeah,
I really do.
Too.
I really do. He can be hard to work for, but I like his position in life. And that his position in life is, if you don't work, you don't make it.
That's right.
And I like that. So simple
exactly.
fact that. I mean, it's amazing. Let me apologize for the beeps coming in. I told people, don't text me, don't aggravate me during this thing, and they're doing it as we talk. So let me apologize on Facebook Live. You guys are hearing the beeps. I'm sorry about that. Share this videos, by the way. If you're on the live, share them. Share them.
Oh, I just wanted to bring up though.
Go ahead.
You can go to look up these diseases, man. To check, do your own research. You can go on the CDC or go into the patent office, look up the patent office, and you can find all these patents.
Now, when let's put this out here. When we say patents, for you who may be watching and don't know what patents are ownership, basically.
Basically.
And it means that if you was a musician and you put out a tune, you would put a patent on that tune. That way, when it's used, you make money from it. You get royalties from it.
Right. And not only this, not to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Not to mention, on these patents, if you really want to do the research and you're seriously about, okay, the way I say it is, you either want the red pill or you want the green pill.
Yeah.
Or blue pill. Truth, or you still want to be sheep. On these patents, look up who funds them. Look up who owns these patents. Look up that, and then look at who wants to vaccinate you, and this and this, and look up their vaccinations where they've used them in other countries, and look what they've done to these, just the people, the kids, and stuff like that, deformities and stuff.
So this is what I like when you said, look it up. You're telling our viewers to look it up themselves.
Right.
And
common sense.
And research themselves, because explain generally, because I do know you do a lot of research. And this is a question I wanted to ask you. Why is it so important that American citizens research what is going on?
Because they need to look up and they need to learn the truth.
Right.
If you don't learn the truth, you're going to remain sheep and you're not going to wake up. The American people need to wake up to what's going on.
And one good point about it is you won't know what the truth or know anything if you don't research about it.
Exactly.
And here's the thing that I like about America is not a lot of things are kept in secret. There is somebody always out there willing to spill the beans. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a way to find out the truth.
You can find out anything.
Especially with our modern technology and our internets and all these things that's going on today. There's a way to find out a lot of things. And I do know you do a lot of research about that. So
the one thing you do got to watch, though, is like a lot of stuff you go to research, like YouTube, Facebook, and I know we're on YouTube now, but a lot of them, they suppress stuff or they delete it. When you share it, they block it.
Yeah.
So when you do research, man, and you use your common sense and you think about it and you see, this person's connected to this person and this happened, and you put two and two together, you come to the same conclusion. You see what's going on.
Right. But one thing about doing research is you have to be careful about is fake news. Fake news, because there's a whole lot of that out there. And since we are live on YouTube, I'm going to stick this out there. There are videos on YouTube that I know for a fact are edited and made fake.
Yes, they are.
To look like it's the truth.
Yes,
so do your research. Learn the truth about what is really going on in our nation. I think one of our biggest problems in our nation today, G, is that we have lost connection with God in a lot of ways.
Yes, we have.
A lot of people, me and you spend a lot of time talking, and we have talked about our faith and our religion. And well, let's not use religion. I don't like that word. I think it's salvation. But we've talked a lot about, sometimes God needs to get our attention.
Right.
And this COVID wave might have been doing that. Now, before I say anything else, usually when we're on lives like this and doing this and you start talking about God, people, they freak out, they're gone. Yeah. They leave. But anyways, let's just put that out there that I think we've lost in touch with God a lot. So I just want to throw that out there.
I agree with that.
My personal opinion is if we get back to God, we'd see a lot better
world.
A lot better world. He said if our people would humble ourselves and pray, I would heal their land.
Exactly.
And if people would do that, I think God would, I know God would do it. Just as he did for Israel in the day when Israel was disobedient, they warned, he said, because of your disobedience, you will wander in the desert for 40 years,
right,
like lost sheep.
Exactly.
And that's what they did. They wandered for 40 years until they finally came, to their senses and done the right thing. And then even then they had plagues and sin upon them. But finally they got to a point where God, they turned to God, back to God, and he healed their land. He made their land a blessing, and it flowed with milk and honey. But anyways, let's move on. So back to COVID. We have determined that it could be, in our opinion, a way for the government to continue to keep us in a box, as they have with the stimulus checks, sending those out.
Yeah.
And like we said, what better way to control people than by giving people money?
I mean, I agree with Trump or sending them out because, some people, a lot of people, a very, very, very lot of people, probably 3/4 of the country
Needed it, yeah.
They've been affected by this COVID-19.
I agree with it. It's not that I disagree at all about that.
Which I think, in my opinion,
And I think there should be more money coming.
I think it was more of a political thing to get our president out of office. I mean, if you think about it, guys, look at the states that's opening up.
Right.
And then look at the states that's basically being a tyrannical government.
Right.
And keeping them closed and saying you gotta do this, you gotta do that, da, 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 da. I mean, you see these films on YouTube or wherever, where like say in New York, where police are just beating the crap out of people, man. Just for, standing so close or taking the mask and doing that, like they beat a woman that with her kid right there in their hand.
Oh wow.
Or in California where they want, if people opens their businesses up, they shut the water off or the power off.
Yeah.
These people are just trying to survive, man. They're just trying to.
We had a simpler episode that in here,
exactly.
with a man that was trying to open his restaurant back up.
Right.
And somehow the law enforcement had got word about it and was waiting on him to open up to arrest. They would have arrested him that day.
They probably would have arrested him, but they probably took his license from him.
Oh, there you go. Everyone.
How is it a crime to open your business to feed? I mean, that's what feeds your family.
Right.
That's what runs this country is small business.
But just as we, the governor shut it down. So
right.
The governor is supposed to be, the head macho and he's in control. But the governor ain't hurting for money.
Exactly.
And he's not the one that's losing. He don't have to go to the office for years and he still be okay.
Exactly. Financially. Exactly.
There's a lot of us that can't do that.
And if this is so bad, if COVID-19 is so bad, why would our government take a trip to Florida? But a lot of people don't know that.
I had heard something about that, and I didn't know, but that's kind of messed up in a way if you think about it. If we're so,
it's that bad.
Yeah, why is our president in Florida and let me read this comment right quick.
Uh-huh.
It says, let's talk about the COVID-19 strictly man-made opinion also. I think that the media is making it worse than it really is. I do think it is a sign of the New World Order.
I agree.
Cashless society. Cashless society, I do not like it as well as Bill Gates is. I do not like it as well as Bill Gates is wanting us to have identification chips in us. This is not going to happen. That is mark of the beast. Strictly my opinion. That's for my cousin Ricky. And
That's good. That's good.
elaborate on that for a second. Give your opinion on that. Now, Rick, let me just give you a little bit back about
must be a cure.
Well, Ricky is he's an Edwards, and Edwards speak their mind and very fluently, very bluntly. So I agree with him a lot.
What I mean about that is the QAnon movement, a cure.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I kind of agree with him. I do think it's a plot to take us over, in my opinion.
He mentioned the New World Order.
The New World Order.
And I've heard that term several times over the last couple of years, actually.
Oh yeah, I tell you something that if he don't know, he could check into and research a little bit. Look up, go and look up the United Nations Agenda 21 or Project Bluebeam. Just look them up and do a little research, and you'll
say
learn
that.
a lot.
Say that again. What was it?
United Nations Agenda 21.
And Project Bluebeam.
Project Bluebeam.
Can you elaborate just a little bit what they are?
Well, Agenda 21 is their agenda to take us over, basically.
Okay.
And to pretty much bring about a new world order.
And the other, the Project Bluebeam.
Bluebeam is kind of like almost, it goes on with mind control and stuff like that.
Right.
They use the media every day to mind control you, man.
So make sure you share this video. If you're on our Facebook Live, share the video. And YouTube, share the video.
And the chip is going by, he brought up Bill Gates, so I'm kind of going to elaborate on that.
I don't agree with Bill Gates, period.
Yeah, I don't agree with him at all. He has funded. He funded. Well, I'm gonna say in my research, it led me to believe that he funded the COVID-19. He funded research on it, or was a part of it. And if you think about it, you look up all these diseases and stuff. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, all them controls in that. They have all control.
They have their hands in it.
They have their hands
somewhere or somehow. They have their hands in it.
So they're saying this, and this.
Well, here's my.
But really, it's this, and this. All because they're making that money on it.
Right.
You got the president saying we can take this hydroxychloroquine, and if it's safe for my president to take it, it's safe for me to take it.
Right.
$11 a bottle, something like that. You take this other thing that they want you to take, it's $1,000 a bill.
Money. And a lot of our pharmaceutical companies are like that today.
Yeah.
You know, without them pushing their drugs, they can't make their billions of dollars. So.
Exactly. They don't give you pills to cure you. All they do is give you pills to help you through it, to maintain the symptoms. To control you.
To keep you buying that medication.
To keep you buying the medication and spending that money. If you think about it, if they actually gave you something to cure you, they wouldn't make it.
You're right. They can't make money on cures.
Right.
And you know, I had somebody in my family, I won't say their name, but they used to say they believe that there was a cure naturally for every disease there is.
I agree.
And that God provided that to treat and cure us from all diseases. And then again, you look like, well, God, can't heal everybody because where would He put us?
Right. And a lot of that stuff, a lot of the natural cures, you can't get cured because they're banned. Why? Why would they be banned?
Yeah.
If they actually help you, why you gonna ban them?
Right.
Because you can't make no money off of them because they're natural cures.
And you're right. So let's go back to the comment there for a minute. I have to say this because I have a very, very big opinion about this Bill Gates thing. Now, and Bill Gates want this identification thing chip put in us. Whatever brought that about, I don't know. This COVID thing evidently brought it about.
Surveillance.
I believe it is a way to keep track of us. And like he said, it's probably the sign of the mark of the beast.
Yeah, I think it is. And I tell you what, this COVID thing, it's more. You ever heard of Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay.
I've had people try to get me buy into it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I kind of shy away from it because, and I thought about it, really.
I have thought about it too.
But each time I think about it, I do a little bit of research, and that's the devil's money, man.
Yeah.
This Bitcoin is tied in to this mark of the beast. You know, that's you say it's digital currency. It's a chip in your hands, a computer scan.
Well, all of a sudden this COVID thing comes, and then Bill Gates comes out with this ridiculous thing about identity. Excuse me, but Bill Gates, you're a fool. You're crazy. You're and it says not to call nobody a fool, but in my opinion, you need to sit back, get out of the public eye, retire or something. Because this whole identification chip thing is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
It's ridiculous. It's the mark of the beast.
And I've seen where there's people in California
that's already
had been implanted with the chip.
And even in New York.
Yeah.
But I refuse to be computer chip.
Oh, they'd have to kill me.
Yeah, they would.
I mean, really, that's the truth. They'd have to kill me.
If somebody wanted to start a civil war in this country, that would be one way to do it. Even matter guns.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to comply to get a computer chip. There might be some people that's so scared and so freaked out because they won't wake up that they're going to rush to get this.
And that's what we go back to the beginning of our show is I said that I made a statement that people are not united and not put together.
Right.
That's why these things like this happen. That's why Bill Gates goes on public TV and makes a ridiculous looking and comment about identification chips and putting them in and stating this out worldwide because he knows the American citizens are not going to stand up against him.
Exactly.
They're not, or he thinks that he's got so much money he's invisible.
Right.
Above everything, and that's my opinion about it. Is if we don't start banding together and start pulling together, the new world order is coming, and it's going to take over us, and we're going to be helpless.
Exactly.
We're not going to know what to do because we're going to be running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Exactly. If the American people, if they don't wake up right now, there's going to be big problems in the future. I see big problems coming. I really do.
You're exactly right. And I'm telling you right now, my whole, oh my gosh. My bad, my phone fell out of the stand. Oh, I thank God it didn't crack the screen. I didn't have it in there quite tight enough, so my bad. You're watching, I'm sorry about that. Okay, but where was we at? I lost my train of thought. My excuse me, everybody. We were talking about Bill Gates. And okay, yeah. My whole thing is that, we've lost sight of what really truly does matter. And the reason I do these shows and this podcast and I interview just normal people is because I don't think the little man is letting their voice be heard enough.
Right, I agree.
And I think that, and my inspiration behind this is to try to obtain America as a nation, as a whole, to pull together, to come together and become something better than what we are unitedly. Because the Bible even states, if united we stand, divided we fall. A house divided against itself cannot stand.
Exactly.
And that's why we're here in the shape we're in now. We're too busy fighting among each other that we're not fighting against what really needs to be fought against.
Exactly.
And
I agree.
And like, for example, this retarded Bill Gates thing,
right.
This chip thing. I mean, if you're for that, I mean, that's all for you. Each to their own. That's the way I look at it. Each to their own. But me personally, I think that is the most ridiculous, stupidest idea that anybody could ever come up with. Oh, okay, well, COVID happened, so let's put a chip in.
Let's get a chip so we can trace you.
Right.
We can track you.
We can see.
For now.
We know everything you're doing.
And then later on, like, which always happens, this is what they take from you now. And then we're going to give it back to you. But yeah, instead of them giving it back to you, it gets worse. All right, so you get this chip, the tracking and tracing, and then all of a sudden they want to, well, let's make you an account. Let's make everybody an account for this, and we're going to use this digital currency, and that's going to be your money.
Right.
You work, you get paid, it's on this right here. You know, and all this is linked to an AI. A lot of people don't think, you know, or believe in AI or think it's real. AI, artificial intelligence, it's real, and they're using it now, and people know it. They ain't generally going to come right out and say it, but they know it.
Yeah.
It's going to be linked to that, and that AI is going to let you know, it's going to come to your phone, or whatever it is.
So artificial intelligence.
They're going to be tracking you, man.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up your rights? I mean, that's invasion of privacy.
Yeah. Now, when you say artificial intelligence, are you saying aliens?
No, I'm not saying that.
You're saying they have some kind of system something they can use.
It's computer-like. It's like a computer.
And you know what's crazy is I personally believe that some of our voted in government back the situation that Bill Gates brought up.
Oh yeah,
they're behind him.
I highly believe they back him. Not only do they back him, China backs him. George Soros backs him. And yes, you can research George Soros and see what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He's a multi-millionaire, billionaire, whatever. He's done more harm to the world than almost anybody.
Well, usually most people with that much money do.
Yeah.
They corrupt the world to get where they're at.
Right.
They walk on the little man to get there.
Right. You don't care who he is.
Not everybody, but a lot of people.
A lot of people.
They with that money, with that kind of money, you know, they tremble on those that don't have any money.
Right.
So, but you know, I do believe. I want to go back to just one real quick back to Bill Gates. I do believe Bill Gates is part of the path to the New World Order if this new chip thing comes around, and I believe it will. I do believe it will come.
It's on the pathway to getting there.
I believe it'll come to. I'm not sure that everybody's going to be accepting of it. And here's my thing. This is the whole reason I'm doing what I'm doing is, you know, I don't want to see us go to war with our own country,
right.
But, you know, we do need to stand up for ourselves.
The people have to stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given. If they don't, they're going to be sheep.
Yeah. And it's funny that, you know, all right, for example, now let's just switch shifts for 1 minute. Joe Biden. Okay, we do know that Obama is backing Joe Biden. I was watching a video the other day.
That's true, man.
That it was so he said, and I quote, "I will do everything in my power to make sure Joe Biden becomes president."
Yeah,
that's what Obama said. And I have nothing against Obama, but I don't know a whole lot about Obama, but I do know a little bit about Biden. And some of the things that I've seen and read about Biden are not good.
Yeah, they're not good, man.
There's some very
he is corrupt.
Disturbing things about him.
He is corrupt to the core.
Okay.
I mean, he openly admitted on a live interview that, yeah, if you don't fire this prosecutor that's investigating my son pretty much, that you're not going to get $1 billion. I mean, if that's not bribing, I don't know what is.
And anybody else would do that, would be sitting in jail or something.
Trump done that, he'd be
they'd have been at his door, knocking at his door, ready to fight him.
In my opinion, that's collusion with another foreign government. That's treason.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. You're right.
But like I said, It's my opinion.
Yeah. I brought Joe Biden up because I believe Joe Biden and Bill Gates are kind of a two kind of thing.
Yeah, I think.
And I believe that if Bill Gates was to come at Joe Biden with his ideas and whatever, they would partner up together.
I believe a whole bunch of them are together. Not just Joe Biden and Bill Gates, but Joe Biden, Bill Gates, and a whole host of quite other people. That I'm not gonna throw out there.
Yeah, that's
but in doing all my research,
you need to research it for yourselves, people.
yes, you do need to research it for yourself. Do not take anything I say to be fact. Do your research. You do your research and you use your own common sense, and you just put two and two together.
And eventually they'll come to the same conclusion.
Same conclusion, right there in plain sight. Man, I could go on for hours about stuff.
And we do have links that I will post up of some of the things we're talking about that we will be talking about in the future. We have links of some evidence we can show, and our videos, whatever, etc., that we can show you that this was said, or this person did do this, or whatever. As far as coming out and accusing someone of something, I want to go ahead and put this on air right now, that we are not accusing anybody, okay, of anything. We are just simply stating our opinions and things we've researched that are facts, but you have to research to yourself to come to your own conclusion, okay? But we want to hear from you. We want to know your questions, your thoughts. And for those that, I'm also recording a podcast, guys. That's what I've got to talk to. And I'm on YouTube and on Facebook. So I'm talking to 3 different things. So you have to bear with me. But we do want to hear from you. We want to know your thoughts, your questions, if you have anything. And if you see this video later, you can still ask your questions. Like I said, we do work together. I can always let him know if you have a question for G or a question from me, or if you would like your voice to be on the podcast, reach out to me, send me a direct message, and we can make that happen. So anyways, we are in a position right now, and we're about to end this up, because I can only record for an hour on a podcast. But I'm actually very interested in our conversation. I'm enjoying myself. A lot more than I thought at the fact, but I've really enjoyed myself. I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but not as good as I thought. The conversations were interesting, and I've learned a lot. You know, when you talk about the Virginia and what was the other one? What was named
Project Bluebeam.
Project Bluebeam. And I had heard someone mention those in the past before.
Hey, you can even look up MK Ultra.
Look that up. Take notes, guys.
Take notes. Definitely take
some notes.
You can look that up. What they've done with that MK Ultra, man, they provide it. You watch TV, you watch movies, stuff like that. That's MK Ultra, man. That is fine. Everybody's being manipulated, man. Everybody. You gotta wake up.
And you know what's funny is I think a lot of the 99% of America, if not all of America, has been controlled maybe from the start. I mean, or some point from the start when our government started officially, you know, after the Civil War and all that came together.
You can look up this too. This is JFK's seniors, some famous words from him or quotes. I have uncovered a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Right? All right. 2 weeks later, he's assassinated. Is that just coincidence?
Yeah, come on, man.
That's not just a coincidence. And I'm just saying.
You're right. I agree with that. I mean, and yes, I know that quote that you mentioned, but it's kind of a weird situation. It's got me kind of puzzled. That's why I'm like, because if you think about it, it is relatable. I mean,
it's relatable.
You know, it's he says the statement, and 2 weeks later he's gone. So, You know, and he was supposed to be the greatest president of all time so far. I mean, I wasn't alive at that time, but he was supposedly, you know, the greatest. But anyways, I feel like, you know, that as my cousin was stating, we are headed down a rough path. If we're not careful, our government is taking us into this new world.
They're trying.
And they're slowly doing it.
They're trying.
And they're trying to take, I believe they're trying to take out as many of us before they can get us there. You feel me like I'm saying? Like,
I can say there is a plan to save the world. There is. I can't really explain all that right now because we ain't got enough time.
right.
But later on we can get into it.
Well, make sure you mark that
I'll
down
mark
so
that down.
we remember to discuss that on the next episode. And I will let you know, guys, the date for the next episode, which will probably be 2 weeks from today.
But there is a plan to save the world. It'll get there.
I just want to see America back itself up again. You know, not just America. Let me just throw this out there. I want to see the world come together in unity.
Right.
Will I ever see that? No.
Probably not. Not in our lifetime.
But I would love to see that, you know, we could all bind together and pull together. But I do back a lot of Trump's decisions.
I back him 98% of the time.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in that ballpark. I think that he has done a tremendous job. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's, like I said, this show is all about opinions. And but I do think we got leaders in office right now that are snakes in the grass.
Oh yes, we do.
And let's go ahead and just put this out there. There's things going on in our government that we're not aware of.
Oh yeah.
And there's research to prove
Yeah.
these things. Now we have about 9 minutes left. We're not going to be able to get into that conversation right now. But on the next episode, we're going to get really deep into, and this is what I wanted to tell you, and I'll go ahead and just say it live. I wanted you to get your research together on that topic, and we're going to put together a show next in a couple of weeks so we can talk about what is really going on underneath the curtain. You get what I'm saying? Or behind the curtain, underneath the sheet.
We can do that. Yeah.
And what we feel that are what people need to be aware of these things that are going on, and they're not. They're not aware of it. They're blinded.
They're blinded by the media. Not telling
Everybody thinks we're going through hard times and we're going through troubles and we're going through tragedies.
We're going through hard times and troubles because it was man-made.
Well, you remember? Okay, let me give a great quote from Winston Churchill. He said, "If you're going through hell, keep going."
Exactly.
I mean, you know, that's simple as that.
Keep going.
Just keep going.
How simple is that?
I mean, and that's the only, and the reason, and the meaning behind that quote is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is you can't go through it, you can't get through it if you don't keep going.
Exactly.
You got to push,
You got to push.
and that's what we got to do now. And our government is crooked. I'm gonna just say it. And I said I wasn't gonna put no labels on nothing. But it is straight crooked in a lot of ways, and we need to be careful how we vote. If you're a voter, how you vote, who you put in office. You need to do your research, people.
Yes, you
Do
Really
your
do
research. Research is the most important way to understand what is going on, who is who, what is what.
Exactly.
You know, so we want y'all to know that we're doing this whole thing. And when I came to you about this, you were excited about it,
Yeah.
and because it gives you opinion, it gives you a chance to get your voice heard.
Exactly.
And I am looking forward to doing that with our next few episodes.
Me too.
But I want anybody on here, anybody that's watching this or listening to this, to know that if you want to tell your side or your opinion or how you feel, then I want to hear from you. If you want to discontinue what we've said or come against what we've talked about or what we've said, I mean, it's your opinion.
your opinion.
We want to hear it. We're not going to get mad. We're not going to get upset, and we don't want you to do this. We want you to not do the same with us. You know, we're giving our
I'd
opinions.
rather discuss it with you and try to open your eyes.
Well, I would like to get an episode together where we can get several other people to sit down and around the lives in the podcast and just discuss, just have a coffee talk or something, you know.
Right.
And that's what we could call it, or some kind of thing like that. But you know, just discuss what we feel, how our opinions are, and see the difference between the opinions.
Exactly.
Because there are going to be differences.
They are.
And there is going to be, you know, but if people don't wake up, and we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and start just winding down everything right now. Where do you believe we are headed right now as a nation?
Not a good way, man. Not a good way. We're headed. The country's going to fall if people don't get back up to work. And these tyrants keep our businesses shut down and this. Our country's going to crash. And if it crashes, the whole country's going to be in a mess. It ain't just going to be affecting one person or a couple 100,000 people. It's going to affect the whole entire country. So, you know, over 3 billion people.
Just like COVID has affected the entire country. Nobody's been going through this by themselves. We've all went through this together.
We're all going through it. We're all going through it as a nation. So we all have to come together and beat this and turn our government from being crooked back to for we the people.
Right, for us.
For us.
To fight for us.
The government, to me, in my opinion now, thinks that we work for them.
Right.
We don't work for them. They work for us.
Right.
They're supposed to do
what we choose.
Want them to do. Not what they want to do.
Right.
All they gotta do is set up our collect their money and be okay with everything. Well, we the people ain't okay with everything. We're not okay with being locked down. We're not okay with having to wear a mask or
not having money or whatever.
Not having money.
Like I said, they can afford not to work.
Yeah, they can afford not to
for years.
Their refrigerator's slammed full. They can probably food enough food for 20 years or so. Not the normal everyday American person. The normal everyday American person is hurting.
You're right.
And
they're struggling.
They're struggling. They need to quit being their tyrannical selves and open their country back up. Unless they work. You know, if you're scared, if you're really scared and you really believe that you can catch this COVID-19, or you have issues that you really could die from it or something, please stay at home. Right. Stay inside, wear your mask, whatever. I'm not.
Use caution.
Use caution.
Yeah.
That's all.
Keep safe. We want you to stay safe out there. We're still in this pandemic.
Yeah. We've
got about 3 or 4 minutes left. We're still in this pandemic, and we want you to continue to be safe and be healthy. Practice social distancing.
Right. I want you to be healthy and safe, but at the same time, don't trample on my rights and everybody else's rights out here that's just trying to work, make a living, go about their lives. And
there's a way to make a living
and
continue to practice safeness and what we need to practice and stay distantly or whatever. You know, we're actually working out that detail right now for where we work. So, but yeah, it is a trying time, and we are in a battle.
We're in a battle. We're all in this together.
We're in this together, and that's the whole point of the podcast in this episode, is to give you a little taste of this, to bind together, pull together, unite, come together. And I just want to real quick give a shout out to a few people on Twitter. I'm not going to say their name; they know who they are. I respect you how you've been giving your money to help people survive. And you know who you are. There's a couple of people that follow me, and I follow them on Twitter. And I just want to say I respect that, and thank God that you have a heart to help people. That means everything. So.